for some preseason action between the LA Kings and the Anaheim Ducks. I'm Carlin Bays. Joining me, two-time Stanley Cup champ Jarrett Stoll. Stoley, it's great to be back here at Crypto.com Arena talking some Kings hockey here with you. But let's talk about some of the young players who would be considered bubble guys who are looking to do anything they can to showcase they deserve a spot on this roster. Who you got for us?
Yeah, a couple guys. Last week here, there's 4 games remaining, so this might be their last game, maybe not. But Sammy Fogamo, he's a guy, he's a goal scorer, he's a shooter, 27 last year for the Ontario Reign. So it'd be nice for him to pot one here tonight and just shoot the puck, create something offensively. Jordan Spence, another offensive-minded defenseman, had a great year last year in Ontario. Played in the playoffs for the Kings, so had some experience there. Brant Clark, this young 19-year-old defenseman, he's going to be all over the ice tonight, so look for him. He can either be with the LA Kings or the Barrie Colts in the Ontario Hockey League, so there's a little bit of a decision there to be made. Rasmus Kupari, again, he's one of those guys that needs to show his speed tonight.
Great stuff, Stoley. Thanks for the insight. Let's take it inside to Alex and Jim.
All right, thank you very much, Carlin. And I think we'll talk about it as we go along, but this feels like the most set that the Kings group has been coming into a season in quite some time. Not a lot of roster spots available. Marquee matchup in goal, though, with the regular season just about a week and a half away. Jonathan Quick takes on John Gibson, All-American goaltending matchup. Expecting Jonathan to play a full 60 and then some, because after the game, there will be a shootout tonight, so just keep that in mind.
They're always talking about question marks, expectations, and goaltending always comes to the forefront. For the Kings, it's whether Jonathan Quick will continue to be the #1 guy. Will Cal Peterson have a say in that, more of a say than he had last year? And for the Ducks, will John Gibson get back to his all-star quality that he's played in the past? So always a lot of focus on the goaltenders.
Kyle Raymond and Gord Dwyer are the referees. Ben O'Quinn and Ryan Gibbons are the linesmen. TJ Tynan, the reigning MVP of the American Hockey League for a second straight year, takes the opening face-off with Alex Iafallo and Arthur Kaliev on his flanks. The Kings playing their 5th of 7 preseason game. Ducks, I should say, playing their 5th out of 7. Kings playing their 4th out of 7. They are 1-2 so far. They will play 4 games this week. And so Anaheim starting from their own end. Jamie Drysdale, new number for him this year, number 6. 20 years of age. Part of a youth movement in Anaheim. A centering pass, they score. Just 42 seconds into the game. And on the back door, it's Rocco Grimaldi with his 5th point of the preseason to lead Anaheim. That was a little too easy. 1 shot, 1 goal. Anaheim's up 1-0.
Grimaldi's back at home now. He's feeling very, very comfortable. You see the long pass attempt doesn't work, so it's a broken play. Far side, because of that broken play, Mikey Anderson cannot pick up Grimaldi as he drives. Now, it was discussed the other day, Alex, when talking about goaltending, that goaltenders should never have to worry about that back door. That's an example right there. You've got to take away the back door, let the goaltender take the shot.
Jordan Spence to retrieve the puck in his own end, along with Sean Walker. Good to see him back after nearly a year away. Badly torn ACL last October. Walker, who only played in 6 games, basically a full 12-month rehab that's still going. But good to see him back out there. We'll talk about his story as we go along. And here is Brant Clark, the young defenseman. Nearly coughed up the puck there in his own zone with Chase DeLeo, Southern California native. Kings able to forge ahead, though. It's Gabe Velarde to roll the puck around to the far boards. Clark pinches. Velarde trying to square it up. Gibson got the paddle down to get a piece of the puck. And there's a penalty coming up here on LA. A hooking penalty. And right away, the Ducks up 1-0. We'll go to a power play.
Yeah, something you expect to see a lot of in the preseason. Everyone's readjusting their styles in games, including the officials. So a hooking call early against Velarde, who tried the wraparound right there. Then he tries to get it back right away. And you can see that the stick just rides up just into the thigh area, into the waist area of the Duck defender, trying to break up the play. And Gabe, who you talked to before the game, is going to go to the box. 1-0 Ducks. First power play goes to Anaheim.
There's Drysdale moving the puck across. Max Comtois whipping a shot wide of the target. Drysdale across to get it. Alex Edler returns for another year with the Kings. And immediately we'll see Brandt Clark with some penalty killing duties. He sends it all the way down. He's the only player for the Kings that has appeared in every preseason game so far. And going back to the scrimmages and then the rookie tournament, he's been playing a lot of hockey over the last month. Drysdale down the wall. Kopitar over the boards. Couldn't clear the zone. Around it goes. Then Gaudin unable to make a play on it. 42 in white. Acquired from the Calgary Flames. There's Kopitar, shorthanded, moving up ice. Good stick. Drysdale able to knock the puck away from Kopitar.
So a lot of eyes will be on Drysdale again as he progresses. Very similar when you talk about attitude and style to a Brandt Clark. Loves to attack, loves to work the puck up the ice, but has to work a little bit more on his defense. Getting more experience right now.
Josh Mahura tried to navigate the traffic. Good stand up by the Kings to their line, Mikey Anderson. As Alex Iafallo risks a shot to goal, and it's swallowed up by Gibson.
Chance to take a look at our Hyundai Keys right now, and we're going to start with a familiar theme going back to last year. The power play. I know, talking with the Kings coaching staff, they also like to throw the PK in there, the special teams, but the focus normally goes to the power play. Brandt Clark, what's going to happen there? And just that fundamental passing. The Kings have talked about that already this preseason. Pick up the tempo. You do that with good passing.
35 seconds left on the Kings penalty kill, which had been perfect up until Thursday night in Ontario. They conceded a couple of power play goals for the first time this preseason against the San Jose Sharks. Fun event down there. Off the wall, nice play by Blake Lizotte. Getting the puck to Jarrett Anderson-Doan. Another one of these players trying to make an impression and make the roster. Gibson handles that puck at the side of his net, leaving just a handful of seconds on the Anaheim power play. Ducks 3-1-0 this preseason. And the remainder of their games will be against the Kings this week, before it all gets real next week. There's Mason McTavish. What a summer he had for Anaheim. The World Juniors had that phenomenal play, knocking the puck out of midair. He'll be a bunch of fun to watch. And by the way, for folks watching in Orange County, you'll have Johnny and Hazy on your televisions in a couple of days when the Kings and Ducks meet once again. What do you hope? You're enjoying our company at the very least. Clark out of the corner. And here's Walker, wearing an A on his sweater tonight. Here is Clark, stopping up after gaining a line. A long pass to Edler, who shuffles the puck to the corner. Kempe begins his cycle. Lizotte to Clark, left point. Clark waiting, passing behind Lizotte. He'll carry off the corner wall. Lizotte twirls one in the middle, nobody there. Edler activates. Edler ran into by Benoit Olivier Groulx, wearing 50 in white for the Ducks. Anaheim recovers the puck in their own end, but good pursuit by Kevin Fiala on the forecheck. You were right. Just talking with some of the folks from the training staff, one of the things that impressed them right away about Fiala was his strength, his work in tight areas. It'd be fun to see him on the forecheck.
Yeah, the way he's built down low, which is important for a lot of athletes generally, because you have that foundation down low. Usually say low center of gravity, yeah. But when he protects the puck, it's tough to get it from him. Fiala
coming off his first career 30-goal season. Second best individual scoring season with those 85 points in Minnesota franchise history. Puck bounces behind Drew Doughty. First time that Doughty and Kopitar played in the same preseason game this year. Good to see Drew back after off-season surgery. We'll get a whistle here and a stoppage.
There's Rocco Grimaldi again, back home. Talked the other day about he's 29 years old, but he feels like he's 19. Getting that opportunity. The one small thing you have to mention here, here's the broken play right there. And that threw the timing off, and you see the balance. But watch Grimaldi here. Give him credit. He's driving, stick down, and he's going to go right through the net. He's not going to peel off. Because he didn't peel off, puck's in the back of the net.
Grimaldi came into Anaheim camp without a contract, signed a tryout. And so far, so good on that. Iafallo rolling the puck to the middle, cut off by Troy Terry. Career high 37 goals for Terry in a breakout season last year. The Ducks are going to ice this. And it's whistled down. Offensive zone face-off for the Kings.
And of course, Todd McClellan behind the bench. We've talked a lot about those expectations. The one thing Todd said today, though, there's still some question marks with the roster, but very few. You touched on that earlier, Alex. It's kind of set right now. So I think you get that feeling with Tom McClellan. It's about opening night readiness right now for the Kings. Less about competition. There's still some competition, but more about getting ready.
And the importance of that is magnified by the way last year started. They were 1-5-1 their first 7 games, and they had to dig really deep to get that back over the course of the year to make the postseason.
It was a good 1-0.
Yeah.
Big win over Vegas,
right.
and that was it after that to get things going.
Hope at least opening night is a repeat of that.
Yeah, that would be okay.
Give Kopi another 4 or 5 points. That'd be nice. Samuel Fagimo in the corner there. The 22-year-old, second-round pick for the Kings out of Sweden back in 2019. Probably on the outside looking in as Rasmus Kupari dances out of the corner. Nifty stick handling, passed it to the front, looking for Velarde, who's been active at the net front all preseason. They've had him in a bit of a new role there, regardless of who his line mates have been. Kupari walks it out from the corner on the backhand, play to the cross. Walker slips it down low.
You want to take care of the skill set and use the skill set of Velarde, but you also want to use his size in front.
Walker snaps one on goal. Big rebound from Gibson. Punched wide of the net. Fagimo to the line. Walker this way. And an extended shift for the Kings in the attacking zone. This puck is bounced out of the zone. Forcing a quick change from Anaheim. Walker in onside. Kings changing personnel as well. He'll loft it across. Nice play to keep things alive and allow the top line to get going. Anze Kopitar tripped up along the wall. Fiala keeps the puck alive. Here's Walker. Really long shift for him. A good minute 20 plus. The Ducks clear it all the way down, and indeed it becomes another icing.
You have the agility and puck movement of Jordan Spence out there with Walker. Walker on his offside. And Jordan does a great job. If there's one kid that's really impressed me in camp, it's been Jordan Spence, because it seems like he has picked off right where he left off last year. There's been no dropping back, and again, he's a confident, and Jared Stoll was talking about in the pregame, he's simple, but he still has that confidence to his game. Keep it simple, play that way.
Kempe opens up, fires, and it rolls to net, allowing Gibson to scoop it up for a save. Just over 12 minutes to go in the first period. An early goal from...
In the National Hockey League, you see 8 seasons. Detroit, Toronto, New York Islanders. First season with the Kings, but he played 40 games. Way back in 92-93, that's the year the Kings went to the final against the Montreal Canadiens. Jim Hiller will be prioritizing the forwards and the power play. And then one of the big keys coming into this season, one of the keys for tonight, it'll be key to get that power play going.
He worked with the Maple Leafs and the Islanders in their power play recently, and if you look into those numbers, wound up being north of 20%, which is where the Kings really need to be. They're going to be a consistent threat atop the Pacific Division. Alex Edler sneaks a shot off a deflection, high and out of play.
We have to say at this point that with the Kings and their coaching staff, Todd McClellan has really been harping on the fact that he's going to go against Dallas Eakins tonight. No, that's not good. Dallas behind the bench, bringing the enthusiasm. He's trying to stay patient. Knows he has a more experienced group of players to work with this year.
Big rebuilding project, but they made a couple of interesting signings over the offseason. Anaheim. Here's Clark. Great pass. Kempe down low. Had to settle it. And glides around the net. Clark dusts it off. Shoots off a stick and wide. Edler up top. Fiala holding. Passing to Edler. And Edler will rotate the puck around the net. Great shift by this top line. And you see the vision of Brant Clark, who had a phenomenal pass to Fiala in Las Vegas a couple nights ago.
The reason he can do what he does, it's a skill we talk about and we take for granted. Keeping your head up while moving the puck. So he's stick handling back and forth. He's changing the point of attack, but he keeps his head up, so that allows him to spot the open man.
Oh, Anderson Dolan bumped Nathan Beaulieu into the boards in a dangerous area, high-speed collision.
There's going to be a penalty here.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of mills around. By the reaction of the players, it seems like everyone realizes there was no malice intended there, but at the same time, the Kings will have to kill their second penalty of the night as Jad goes off.
Cross-checking.
So the cross-check is the official call. Dump in, chase it down. We'll see the placement of the stick. Right there, just that little shove. There's not a lot of jerking motion there, but that was brought to the attention of everyone last year to not use that stick as leverage. And when you get close to the boards like that, in that specific area, at that speed, the officials are watching just for that shove. You knock them off balance, you go in the box.
Warrior, who signed a one-year contract with Anaheim this week after coming out of their camp on a tryout. Second power play for the Ducks. There's Isaac Lundestrom coming to a halt at the half wall. Silfverberg, Lundestrom into the circle. Wrist shot saved by Quick.
Previous to the power play of the Ducks, Brant Clark keeping the play alive. Look at the head up. Up. It's up. It's up. He's moving. He's deceptive. No look. He's looking one way, passes the other. And you can see right there, Drysdale's able to force Kempe to the outside. But again, that's part of the reason that Clark is so deceptive, because he keeps you guessing. The head is always up. He will find someone open.
Drysdale plays it across. Silfverberg shot patted down by Quick. Rebound jumps to the near boards. Len Gaudin signed a two-way contract with the Ducks this offseason. Drysdale shot hits a stick on the way and broke the stick out of the hands of Adrian Kempe. Kempe without his stick as Drysdale feeds Lundestrom.
Yeah, you would expect Kempe to move to the side that he's closest to the bench right now, closer to get that stick.
Like every situation, it's good to practice these things in the preseason as well.
And he ends up going right to the box there as he chased the puck over to the far side.
Lundestrom watched by Doughty. Return pass from Comtois and across the seam. He catches up to Gaudin, but his pass intended for Drysdale never arrived. Quick up from Gibson. Comtois will work it back with 37 seconds left on the Ducks power play. Josh Mahura bottled up before he could exit his zone. Nice work by Lizotte in front of the Anaheim bench to slow down their breakout, and it's another regroup. And it's Mahura to reset. Grimaldi, who has the Anaheim goal, in over the LA line. Pavel Regenda wearing 40 in white. Coughed it up, and Alex Iafallo moves in the other way. Final second to the power play. A pass to the middle, and it'll be a penalty on the Ducks with Jordan Spence streaking down the slot. He draws a slashing penalty, and it'll be the first power play of the night for the Kings when we come back.
Get ready for a brand new season right now.
It's unbelievable.
Good storylines, and they did.
I'll tell you what's on tap the next couple of hours.
Start your hockey night with NHL Now. Returns October 11th on NHL Network. If you are on NHL Network.
Pavel Regenda goes to the box. The slash is the call. The Kings aggressive at the end of that kill. You see, creating a turnover earlier. See, everyone gets around the puck, even though the Kings are shorthanded. But then going back the other way, watch the presence of mind of Iafallo. Drive by Lizotte, turn, spin, and backhand pass. That caught everyone unaware that Jordan Spence was going to be the open man. You see a couple of sticks get involved right there. And the Kings get their first power play.
There's a little bit of consternation among Kings fans based on the way the preseason had started. Overall this preseason, 2 for 16 on the power play. Goals from Adrian Kempe and Carl Grunstrom. Here's Drew Doughty with Adrian Kempe. This is probably what their power play unit will look like. At the very least 4 out of 5 on opening night. Kempe up to Doughty at the right point. Across for Kopitar, left wing. It's a new location for him. Doughty for Fiala. He holds Doughty. A blast. Deflected out of play. Chase DeLeo looking at his stick to make sure it's not broken.
One thing Jim Hiller talked about yesterday after practice, you can't give away any of the secrets on the power play, but he talked about making sure players and the hand that they shoot gets them into a better position to make things happen. You see the Kings attempt a shot from the middle of the ice. That's where you want it from the point, from the middle. But, a righty, a lefty, make sure you're not in a position where you're just going to hold on to the puck. You can get rid of it quick and on the net.
Well, that's the one thing that jumped out right away is Kopitar being on the left wing this year. Spent most of the time last season on the right. Doughty up top. Kopitar receives on his backhand. Tried to flip that one back to the point. Mishandled it the first time. Now here's Fiala to the middle. Kempe redirects it wide. Around it goes. Fiala keeps the zone nicely. Over a stick. Doughty back to Kopitar. What a pass. Kopitar moves in. Doesn't like the look. 45 seconds left on the power play. Kopitar from the circle across. Kempe shot. Score! Picking up where he left off. Kempe with his second power play goal of the preseason, and the game is tied.
The Kings certainly prioritized changing the point of attack on that power play. Kept in by Fiala. That's kind of a underrated skill there by getting to that loose puck. As you mentioned, Alex, Kopitar didn't like the first look, but watch this. Watch how hard he zips that pass across. That assertiveness with that pass makes all the difference in the world, because even though Kempe didn't shoot it as a one-timer, because the puck gets there so quick, difficult on the goaltender, and the Kings tied up 1-1.
Well, Gibson was trying to figure out how to stop it short side high. Went with the Billy Ranford move, but didn't work out. And there is Blake Lizotte with the steal. He'll hand it off to an activating Walker. Walker rags with the puck in the corner, looks for a target. And the Kings looking for more here. Walker had it roll away briefly as he ties up with Grimaldi, and the Ducks bank it ahead. Comtois off the attacking blue line. Spence ranges over, gets a piece. Comtois gets it back. Grimaldi for Mahura. And on across. Simone Benoit rolls it to the corner. Comtois walks it to the front. A centering pass. Grimaldi shot it off the outside of the net. Brandon Lemieux checked along the near boards by Mahura. And the Ducks take it back. Doughty's already had an active preseason, had a cut around his left eye and a couple of stitches Wednesday after an inadvertent stick. Here comes a takeaway, a return pass to Tynan down the wing. His shot short side, saved by Gibson. He and Edler were moving in as Edler shoots this one wide. Clark holds the zone. Follow. Walks it out from the wall. Locates Edler, left wing. Give and go from Clark just in front of Edler. Tynan in tight quarters against Josh Lopina. And the puck poked to the near boards by Gibson. Justin Kirkland turns away from a hit. 26-year-old in his 7th professional season, trying to crack an opening night roster for the first time in his career. Clark looking for Tynan. Checked in open ice. A long shot from a tough angle by Kaliev. Gibson alert to it.
You can see right there with Kaliev, he doesn't need a lot of backswing to get a lot of force on a shot because of his technique shooting the puck. So shoot from anywhere.
I got a hunch that this is going to be a really big year for Arthur Kaliev. He played 80 games last season and wound up, I think, maybe hitting a wall a little bit, but that's the most games he played in his entire life at any level.
What I hope for, Alex, is that Velarde pushes Kaliev and fights for the same spot.
Guimont driving to the net front.
Not the same type of player by any means. Kaliev the shooter, Velarde more puck possession. But it's nice to see young guys like that fighting for ice time. and positioning, for slotting. How high can you make your way up the lineup?
We'll talk about it in just a bit. With Victor Arvidsson out, that back surgery, the herniated disc, and Silfverberg whiffs on this pass in tight, with Doughty guarding him. It's allowed, a couple of openings for the Kings, the top 6, and they've tried Velarde there already a little bit in the preseason.
Tom McCollum mentioned, though, he said Arvidsson's going to get his job back, regardless of what happens. At the same time, you do get maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 attempts as a Kaliev, as a Velarde, to play higher up in the lineup.
Drysdale in over the line with Silfverberg. Long shot, stick save quick. Walker receives the check from Comtois. Sean was talking this morning. He couldn't wait for every one of the little firsts in a game. The first read on a 3-on-2. The first time he's checked into the boards as Fiala receives a hard hit from Benoit.
According to Zach Dooley, the Kings insider, 342 days. The last time that Sean Walker played in the game.
If you want a story that is easy to root for this year, it is Sean Walker with his road back after that devastating injury last season. There's Benoit to Mahura, shot off the glove, a quick rebound, patted down as well. And he had to react quickly.
Whoop.
Spence, meanwhile, battling here in the corner. Kopitar slowly through neutral ice. Bank pass behind Fiala, who decides to slot it in, and the Kings make a line change. Just over 3 minutes to go, first period. And the first preseason game this season for the Kings at Crypto.com Arena. Be here again on Saturday. There's Alex Edler rolling a shot to net. Scooped up by Gibson, and we get a whistle with 2:51 left in the first. And Adrian Kempe, 35 goals last season.
By Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Kings have tied it up 1-1, and that kid right there, he's 19 years old. He makes us talk about him all the time. Jarrett Stoll, keep talking about him.
Yeah, for good reason. He just brings guys to him. Great deception. There's a play he made halfway through the first period in the defensive zone. He brought a couple guys with him. Just rims the puck. Very, very simple. And then he made a great pass to Adrian Kempe in the offensive zone. Again, bringing guys to him. He makes plays that you just don't see out there. And then all of a sudden, it's a great play and maybe an assist or a goal. But great kid to watch here. He's going to be a good one.
Always talk about risk versus reward. I've talked to a lot of people in the Kings development staff and the assistant coaches. They feel that perhaps Brent is not as risky as his style would make him seem to be. So decision making is going to be very, very important. That initial decision and then how you react.
Well, the Kings haven't had a player of that nature, since Drew Doughty come in like that on defense?
And there is that reward part to the risk too, right?
Yeah.
So if it works more than not, you get the benefit of the doubt.
Biggest knock on him from just reading the scouting report seems to be backward skating and reads defensively, but he's 19. I'm sure he'll work on that. Fiala keeps a hold of the puck.
Whoop.
There's that strength in tight areas, and he draws a penalty. All down out of the corner, and Kings will have another power play right at the end of the period here. Minute 58 to go, and a 2-minute minor sends them to their second man advantage.
The ability of Fiala to get his body in position. Dallas Aikens looks on and says, I've got to kill another power play right here. The Kings have the power play goal. So watch down low. Body position once. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Body position. Keep the defender away from the puck. Kopitar at center again on this power play. You talked about the new alignment with Kopitar on the left side. That is the biggest difference. Last year, Alex, one of the reasons the Kings power play stalled is that Anja would get his backside on the half wall and just kind of slow things down. The Kings want to change that up. Move him on the other side, and hopefully that changes.
Again, he lines up on that left wing as Adrian Kempe's shot gets blocked.
You want the puck in your best player's hands, especially on the power play. No question, you want it in Kopitar's hands, but just by changing the position on the ice, perhaps that changes how quickly the Kings will move the puck.
Fiala with Velarde. Again, we'll see if this power play unit is indeed set with the puck out of play here, and whether Velarde will wind up on this unit on opening night. All right, so opening night is next week. Tickets are still available, a handful of them, and all fans in attendance will receive an exclusive LA Kings Chrome pom-pom. LAKings.com/tickets. Find out more. Second unit will have to wait. Only 34 seconds gone by. Kopitar wins the faceoff against Lundestrom, and here's Doughty cruising across the line. Kopitar behind his back to Doughty. Kempe, a one-timer, sticked away by Gibson. Doughty, hard pass to Kopitar, and Fiala gliding across, looking through the seam to Kempe. Regroups off the boards, feeds Doughty, on for Kopitar, opening up, hesitating, drawing back. Kopitar, a seam pass. Kempe looking for Velarde on the back door, and just jumped away from him. Kopitar on the quick re-entry with Velarde flying down the wing and cuts to the middle, fires off the pad of Gibson. Tough save on a grade A+ chance for Velarde.
And there's an example of why you want to see Gabe Velarde play higher in the lineup. The higher skill players he plays.
Plus chance for Velarde. Here's Clark motoring through neutral ice with Kupari along the wall. Another player looking for a spot in the opening night roster. I follow, ties up, loose puck. Tynan hands it off. They shot, they score. It's Kaliev.
There is probably not a spot in the lineup for TJ Tynan. But if there's ever a combination you would want to be together, it will be Tynan with Kaliev. Because Tynan is a distributor, and watch when this loose puck becomes available. Quick hands, shooter, pucks in the net. One guy wants to pass, one guy wants to shoot. They both work together. Keep in mind, on the initial part of that play, it was Brandt Clark who entered the zone with the puck. Kings able to get there because of Brandt Clark.
And Tynan, the reigning AHL MVP, 98 points last season. Contributes here. He may not make the opening night roster. We don't expect him to. Arthur Kaliev, though, to see him in that kind of position on the power play is a huge plus. 2 power play goals for the Kings in his first period. They lead 2-1.
The first power play goal, more of the fundamental setup. The second one, loose puck, figure out what's going on, make it happen. The Kings getting the numbers they want. If that power play gets better this year.
Episode 2, Tuesday, 10 Eastern on NHL Network.
2-1 Kings. After one period of play in downtown Los Angeles. First time on Crypto.com ice for the Kings this preseason. Alex, Jim back here with you. Got to love how the power play looked through the first period, huh?
Well, especially because they've been talking about changing things up as far as alignment. They've moved some players around. It's the same players, basically, or the guys you would expect, but maybe in different positions. Understanding that you have to move the puck and keep the puck moving. The first goal again, kept in. Nice play there by Doughty. Didn't notice that the first time, but the way he spun around to protect it. And then if you can create something like this, meaning a play that the opposition has to worry about with Kempe, then other things will open up. Entry into the zone. And look at this, 3 guys come across. 3 forwards until you gain possession. You have the man, and Kaliev just backing up. The one thing there, single-minded from Kaliev. He's not thinking about anything but just cranking it. That's exactly what he does. So you see the personnel. The first one was Kopitar in a new position. The second one was Clark gaining the zone, the entry. Both times it works. 2 power play goals.
Hopefully the Jim Hiller effect is just getting started.
Another thing Hiller talked about, though, Alex, you know, he was asked yesterday about a whole bunch of specifics, and It's tough to answer questions without giving specifics, but he said generally the biggest thing is to be able to adjust during a season, because penalty killers will adjust to your power play. You've got to find new ways.
Shots for 13-7 LA in the first. As they just now announced the Kaliev goal. Ducks have iced it. Offensive zone face-off to come for LA. So Arthur Kaliev, still just 21 years of age, his second season. He wound up with 6 power play goals last year. It was actually tied for the team high. 14 in all in 80 games.
And he did mention, it's kind of obvious, but he's talked about when he's on the left side, which he's been at times, it's more of a wrist shot position. When he's on the right side, like his goal, it's more of a one-time position.
I follow. Looking to start a cycle with Tynan in the corner. Kaliev digs it out of there. I follow and Kaliev converge. Tynan gets the inside position in the corner against Dmitry Kulikov. Traded from the Wild to the Ducks in a salary dump. That was part of what motivated Minnesota to trade Kevin Fiala somewhere, anywhere, because of the big salary cap penalty for buying out Zach Parise and Ryan Suter.
And you can imagine if you're the GM, Bill Guerin in Minnesota, and you come across and you change things around. Dave Everson comes in as the head coach, and you have good things working, and then it catches up to you.
Yeah.
It catches up to you. You have all that backlog with the salary cap.
Kopitar turned over the puck. Comtois sends it ahead behind Grimaldi, who is playing for a job with the Ducks. He has the lone goal for Anaheim tonight. So the Kings are, for the moment, without Victor Arvidsson. We mentioned that earlier in the show. Surgery for a herniated disc that kept him out of the playoffs. He wasn't skating with the main group until this week. Still wearing a non-contact jersey, but the good news is he is skating with his usual line mates, Philip Deneau and Trevor Moore. And then there's Sean Durzi, shoulder surgery. He had problems with his shoulder, separated a couple different times in his junior and minor hockey career, and had shoulder surgery right after the season ended. So he's taking a little while to get through his rehab, but they're hoping he's ready for opening night.
Yeah, Todd McClellan will have that opportunity perhaps to use both of those guys early on. And what Durzi mentioned, you know, you've got to try to make the best out of a difficult situation. He said he really worked on his leg strength and explosiveness because he couldn't do a lot of upper body, so worked the lower body.
Yeah. Durzi, who was called up November 24th of last season, but never left the lineup. He wound up being a big-time contributor. And he feels like after this whole ordeal with the surgery and everything, as challenging as the rehab's been, he's going to come away from it a lot stronger just because of all the muscles that are being put in the right position. Walker gets to the front of the net. Talk about another player who had a medical intervention after an injury. Walker just looking for little things, right? You know, the power, explosiveness, first step. So far, so good. Turnover, neutral ice. It's Chase DeLeo. And Quick hangs on to this. Well, with all of our friends, neighbors, Southwest Florida and other states along the Atlantic coast from Hurricane Ian, the effects, especially in Southwest Florida, have been absolutely devastating. But the American Red Cross is there to provide shelter, food, comfort, and support. And you can donate easily to help them out. Scan the QR code on your screen or text Ian to 90999. That's Ian, I-A-N, to 90999. Simple as that. You can make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross. Every little bit helps. Here in downtown Los Angeles, 2:20 into period number 2. 2-1 Kings over the Ducks. Preseason game number 4 for LA. There's Gabe Velarde turning the corner. Numbers with him. Baguimo moves in and snaps one on goal. It is trapped by Gibson.
Dallas Eakins talking earlier in the preseason about just a new feeling around the Ducks on, you know, they were in transition. They're still in transition, but Pat Verbeek takes over as the general manager. He says, it's nice to know that I have a few more veterans. Nice to know who the general manager is. Just nice to know there's things that are solid right now for the Ducks. And hopefully he feels they can build from that.
And they feel they are now in the mode where they can start signing players and being more aggressive. They made 6 free agent signings, including 3 impact players, the most interesting of which is John Klingberg, who signed a 1-year contract, $7 million with the Ducks over the summer, after failing to come to terms with the Dallas Stars on an extension. Betting on himself with that 1-year deal for sure, with the salary cap expected to go up in the next couple of years. Perhaps, depending on where the Ducks are at, could be a trade piece at the deadline.
He also will be a mentor for Drysdale. And Drysdale, the offensive-minded defenseman. Klingberg, offensive-minded defenseman with a lot of experience. So you become a mentor at this stage of your career.
Anderson Doan will steer the puck ahead, up the wall. Anderson Doan carries it over the line with Lemieux. Return pass, Anderson Doan may have had a little piece. Gibson got to it. Anderson Doan checked along the end boards. Lemieux got to the puck. Rotated to Doughty. Doughty, wrist shot, tipped by Anderson Doan on net. Gibson the stop. Lemieux out of the corner. Back with the Kings for a 3rd season. Anderson Doan had it roll away. Now Lazat, who's cemented himself in that 3C or 4C role. Quentin Byfield hasn't been skating with the group, but we expect he'll be in that role at the beginning of the season, a 3C, 4C, depending on how you want to term it. Lazat, an unheralded player for a while in his junior years, undrafted out of St. Cloud State, but has become a fixture for the Kings.
One of the biggest differences last year for the Kings compared to the previous season, how much more effective that 4th line was with maintaining or creating momentum and also decent production.
Walker, wrist shot, tipped wide. Arthur Kaliyev in the low slot. Heinen trying to swarm Lundestrom there. Got a piece of him. Shot by Iafallo. Big stop by Gibson with the pad. Spence down the wall. Return pass out of the corner. Spence moves it across. Kaliyev looking for Tynan on the back door. Walker right side. Kaliyev moves in. Shoots off of Lundestrom. A long shift for him. A minute 50 plus. The rest of the Ducks out there for 2+ minutes. Kings looking to capitalize on some tired legs. Walker cruises in, drops for Kaliyev. Kaliyev shot, stick save, Gibson to the corner. And it's cleared all the way down. Anaheim will happily take the icing.
But they won't get the change that they want because of that icing. There was a couple of times where Kings defensemen were instrumental in keeping the puck alive at the top and then down below. Kaliyev found himself in the shooting position, but right there he felt he had Tynan back door. With Arthur Kaliyev, Alex, there's always going to be this, and it's in my mind too, I have to admit it. Shoot it! You know, but he has been known to move the puck around a little bit more than people give him credit for. At the same time, when you see him release the puck, you just want him to shoot it every single time.
I thought his work within the system, within the structure of the team last year from the beginning was impressive.
The way he read tempo of a game and where the puck was going and anticipating, I thought he came a long way in a short period of time.
This Fiala centering pass, Kopitar blocked. Benoit got a piece of that as Clark shoots well wide from the wall.
Kopitar got clipped with a high stick after the shot, or maybe as he was shooting. And I don't think it's a big issue, but he's over at the bench right now.
He sits down. Kempe moves it in front. Clark put it wide. Great chance for Brandt Clark streaking in. There's Comtois off the neutral ice turnover. Comtois out wide. Grimaldi. Deeks shoots on the backhand high of the net. Velarde unable to clear. Here's Grimaldi. Chips it to the goal line. Holding on the shot was Comtois. He feeds it to the back. Gaudin gets the return feed from Kulikov to the middle. Drysdale walks across. Flips it off a stick. Kings take over. Velarde breaks it out to Kupari. He crisscrosses with Fagimo. Here's Velarde with a wrist shot rising onto Gibson. It's knocked down and covered. 7 minutes into period number 2. Some great chances for the Kings who lead 2-1.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. After decades of waiting, new legislation has just been passed that finally offers justice to the countless Marines and their family members who experienced devastating health effects after being exposed to toxic water at Camp Lejeune. So if you or a loved one were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, toxic water may be to blame. Call right now to find out if you qualify. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-842-1430. 1-800-842-1430.
Kopitar wins a face-off against Benoit Olivier Groulx, 22-year-old rookie from France. Played 18 games with the Ducks last year. Kopitar coming off a season in which he led the Kings in points for the 14th time. But we believe that will change this year. Well, at least Kevin Fiala will make a compelling case for that puck out of play here. Yeah, Kings, of course, sorry, Jim, without Dustin Brown, who retired at the end of last season.
Yeah, that's going to be a void that has to be addressed collectively. The Ducks in the same position with Ryan Getzlaf no longer around, so. But maybe that opens up just a little bit of breathing room for a younger player to feel a little bit more confident.
Kempe beats out an icing. And use those set plays with him to knock the puck ahead and expect him to be able to hustle and win the race to the hashes first. There's Kopitar, defensive zone. Giveaway along the boards, but a nice recovery from Doughty. Though given back to the Ducks and Lundestrom. And worked across to the right wing. Drysdale shot blocked. Drysdale gets it back. A backhanded shot never got to goal. Hit the skate of Mikey Anderson, who was trying to box out Lundestrom in front of the net. Mikey Anderson signing a one-year extension with the Kings. Centering pass knocked around in front. Like a pinball off the skate of Doughty. Baguimon up ice with Fiala. And there's going to be a penalty. Slashing is the call. And we'll sort it out when we come back.
Top end player.
Find out if your favorite made the cut.
He's one of those guys that thinks, I'm going to get 50 every year.
Top 50 players right now. 10-1, Sunday 6 Eastern on NHL Network.
Gotten in the box because of a neutral zone, getting back, trying to help out, but gets too much stick work. As Fiala was just looking to dump this in. There's the whack on the hands. And Fiala was going to the bench, but he says, okay, now we've got a power play. Second unit will start here. I mentioned earlier that Fiala with Kopitar, RJ Kopitar's probably never had a player of his skill over on his left side. Kevin Fiala mentioned to me the other day he's never played with a player like RJ Kopitar either in the center position. So both guys hopefully take advantage.
So this was the unit that capped off the first period with a power play goal. Arthur Kaliev, right circle, feeds Clark at the line. He jukes to the outside and turns it over. Isaac Lundestrom with the steal. And Silfverberg, a one-hopper on the net. Was able to handle it. On the reload, here's TJ Tynan. With Iafallo, couldn't get it deep. Quick out of his net to play it. Clark hustles back on the reset. Keep this unit out there. Although Fiala is now over the boards. Clark stops it up, tried to shuffle it across. Well played by DeLeo. Clark on the recovery. Iafallo out high. Here's Kupari behind the net. Rasmus banks it to Fiala. Kings starting a change. Fiala feeds Drew Doughty at the point. Now it's Kempe left wing. Kempe glides in. Doughty rotates to Fiala. A blast off the stick of Mahura. It broke the stick out of his hands. Doughty to the left wing. Touch pass from Kempe. Taken by Kaliev and sent towards the front. Took a ricochet.
We'll see if a cross pass opens up here with Mahura without a stick, so he can't take away that lane.
Kempe does just that. But DeLeo is the one to break it up.
Mahura was the other defenseman there. You're right, yeah. Alex. The Kings were looking. And there's a couple of reasons that happens. Everyone recognizes the fact. Isolating Brandt Clarke here, keeping the puck in. You can see there's very rarely a time where Brandt is not moving. And we've talked about that many times, where if you move, someone has to react to that, opens up space.
It's big Gabe Velarde on the faceoff. Loses out to Lundestrom. And the Ducks send it all the way down. 15 seconds left on the power play. Kopitar on the reload. 5 seconds left. Auden ready to exit the box. Fiala over the line. Stripped to the puck by Mason McTavish.
The biggest difference on that power play for the Kings were the breakout situations. They never did have a clean breakout. They never took their time to go back and start coming up as a 5-man unit. And rarely did they get the puck into the zone with possession.
Doughty hoists it in on the backhand. Velarde, heavy check along the backboards. Benoit looking around, asking for a penalty, none given. Spence, wedge is gone in off the puck. And a hit finished by Lozado on the far boards. Haven't really seen this game get chippy yet. Lemieux up the wall. Spence tangles with Grimaldi. Pops free. Spence unable to hold it in the zone. Anderson Doan dumps it in. Lemieux lines up Henrique. Takes the puck back. Looking for Anderson Doan at the side of the net. And Lemieux hauled down behind by Kulikov. Henrique to the middle. And the Ducks will have a way out. Upari, nice stick in neutral ice, gets the steal on Drysdale. And the Kings are able to hoist it back in. Still the Ducks with just 10 shots in this game. The Kings, remember, last year finished second in the NHL in shot suppression. Velarde hounding Jamie Drysdale. But the Ducks break out with Gruel. The pass, they got away from Grimaldi there. Clark looking for the steal on Grimaldi along the half wall. Poked free from Gruel. Taken away by Edler behind the net. Edler unable to clear. Gruel a shot off the crossbar. That may have been deflected on the way. But it beat quick up top. Icing on LA.
So the Ducks able to take advantage of the Kings' inability. I mentioned the power play breakouts weren't there. This time, around the boards doesn't work. And all of a sudden you have the shot. Not dangerous initially, but watch this. Yes, it is redirected right in the middle of the slot by Grimaldi. He picks it out of the air. Then it bounces off the crossbar and behind. So one of those keys we talked about earlier was passing. And the Kings here for the last 10 minutes or so, struggling with that first pass to get guys going with some speed and get some clean breakouts, whether they're man advantage or even strength.
Here's Chase DeLeo in over the line. Will slice out wide. Edler staples his man to the end wall. That'll allow the Kings to engage in a battle for the puck. Clark sticking his nose in there. Now over 10 minutes time on ice cumulatively for Clark. And with some tired legs, Edler and Clark will both get to the bench here. Now the Ducks appear to have iced it. And the Kings will have an offensive zone face-off. So here's the setup. Got 3 more preseason games for the Kings. And then the regular season begins next Tuesday, October the 11th. Nationally televised game on ESPN against the Vegas Golden Knights. Our first game will be next Thursday, the 13th, against the Seattle Kraken. And then the Kings immediately hit the road. First up, Minnesota Wild. They win the attacking zone faceoff. Anderson looking for Iafallo back behind. Got double team there. Puck is chopped at by Josh Lapina out of the zone. 21-year-old rookie from Chicago. NCAA national champion at UMass in 2021. Kaliev lifts it in, cross corner. Anaheim still trying to get their personnel right after the icing. One man has changed off. And there's going to be another penalty here. 3:55 to go in the second. And yet another penalty to be issued.
All in one show. On the Fly returns October 11th on NHL Network.
Another power play coming up here for the Kings, but as I throw it to Jarrett Stoll. Stoley, anyone catching your attention here tonight?
Yeah, it's a line, a whole line. TJ Tynan, Iafallo, and Arthur Kaliev. Not just because Arthur scored, but they're all over the ice. Every time they're out there, they're making good plays. They're in the offensive zone, which is what you want. It's a good thing for TJ Tynan as well. Hey, if he makes the team or not out of training camp, that'll be determined. But if he doesn't, any kind of injuries go on in the top six of this lineup, he can easily fill a void like that. He's great on the power play. He's a two-time AHL MVP, so he puts up points. He has that side of the game covered. So I like him in the organization so much. And then Kaliev and I follow important parts of this team, obviously.
Another power play for the Kings here after a hook on Silfverberg. Tynan, who played his college hockey at Notre Dame. Veteran guy. Just, you know, he's obviously an outstanding AHL player. Just hasn't been able to crack an NHL roster consistently, but has a vital role, especially with the way Ontario is set up this year. That's a team that'll contend for the Calder Cup. Kempe to Kopitar. Hard pass to Doughty. Back to Kopitar. Across, looking for Kempe. Well, they have really gone aggressively looking for those cross-seam passes. Forced out of the zone here, and the Kings will regroup. Scooted ahead for Fiala. And Fiala stopped by Gibson with the glove. How about the acceleration from Kevin Fiala, but he's robbed by Gibson.
I was impressed by the pass of Gabe Vilardi on a broken play in the neutral zone. Here's the broken play. Watch Vilardi. Forehand, backhand sauce. And by putting some air underneath that pass, that allows Fiala to get there. Now, at the end, you see him open up his blade there. He tried to get Gibson to bite on a move right there. Kind of a fake. Gibson did not. Glove free, glove saved.
Second unit on. Kupari loses the faceoff. He's another interesting case, Rasmus Kupari, because the Kings are on paper set at center 1 through 4. So where would Kupari be? He's another player that would not have to be placed on waivers. He could start the year at AHL Ontario. 20th overall pick for the Kings in 2018. Kupari.
I think you answered your question right there, Alex. Well,
Kaliev denied by Gibson. Second bid blocked by Mahura.
Well, there are turnovers, and then there are turnovers.
Yeah. Kaliev a rocket.
Wow.
Look out, John Gibson. Goodness.
I don't know if he wanted to make that
No.
save.
Oh, that was coming at him at a high rate of speed. Iafallo a rocket wide of the target. And Kaliev unable to hold the zone. The Kings are peppering the Anaheim net now. Final seconds of the power play. Spence to the corner. Kupari up the wall. Lazat darts to the front. And Gibson holding that short side post. Back to even strength. Silfverberg out of the box. Lazat battles for position against DeLeo. Edler's shot off the back skate of Kupari. Lemieux had it jump over his stick, and Anaheim takes another icing. It's been a theme for them tonight.
So it was sloppy there for Anaheim, and you know the Kings had pressure. The Kings were taking the proper angles. 2 men for the Kings, and there it is. It just bounces to Kaliev. You can see Gibson. He had to be very aware right there to take 1 step forward. Here's the next one. I think John's going, you know what? I'm going to make this team, regardless of whether I make that save or not.
Walker's shot deflected wide by Lazat. Yeah, no need to put yourself in harm's way right now.
You just showed me his intelligence right there.
Yes. The puck out of play. Minute 18 left in the period. Gibson, about a decade in this league. And you said it early in this game. He's the type of guy. He's an all-star caliber goalie. Hasn't had a good team around him, and that I think has eaten into his work as well.
It seems like in the past, the Ducks have such a tough start, and Gibson keeps him in there.
Yeah.
But then as the season goes on lately, it unravels, and then I think it affects his mental part of the game of, I'm doing everything I can here, but I'm just not getting any help.
There were some hot trade rumors this summer that he'd be moved somewhere, but we'll see over the long haul. Another 4 years on his contract. The Ducks coming off fourth straight season missing the playoffs.
I hate to see Pat Verbeek as their GM. The reason I hate to see it is because I have a lot of respect for Pat. Played against him, just the style he has. I think he has a little old school. He's able to have the communication skills that you need nowadays. And just those like changing in numbers. Jamie Drysdale changing numbers, Zegers changing numbers. Just, back to the old school. And Sean Walker talked about the changes. And I don't think we always ask a defenseman when he switches sides, he's playing his offside, what are the biggest differences? And you get some pretty decent answers every once in a while. To me, it's the foot you pivot on changes defending when the outside speed hits you, and then the shoulder you lead in with most of your hits, it becomes the opposite shoulder.
The one area, as this shot from Kulikov is denied by Quick, the one area the Kings didn't really do much with on their roster is the left side of their defense, and Sean Walker is playing on his offside. He's done it in the past. Shot gets through traffic wide to the corner. McTavish keeps it alive, feeds it off of Mikey Anderson. Final half minute of the period. Ducks keep it alive. A little scrambling going on for the Kings here as Kempe is unable to bank it out. Kulikov holds the zone, turns away from Fiala. Kulikov protects, works it across. Drysdale connects down low with McTavish. Back to Drysdale. A shot out of the way by Quick. And Kopitar is out of the zone with it. Kopitar in over the line. Kopitar deeks to the outside on right wing. Bodied up by Kulikov in the corner. 4 seconds left in the period. Loose puck. Doughty played it across behind Kempe, and that does it for period number 2.
So the Kings maintain that 1-goal lead. Make it happen. Both teams looking to see if someone can take control of the game.
4 power plays tonight, scored on the first 2. Goals from Kempe and Kaliev. Rocco Grimaldi, the only goal scorer for Anaheim. It came 42 seconds into the game on the first shot of the night. And so we begin the third in downtown Los Angeles. Silfverberg, heavy check on Anderson. Didn't do anything. Iafallo gets to the puck, works it around the boards. McTavish is on it for Anaheim, and now Drysdale with a long outlet off the stick of Silfverberg, and the Kings take over. Kempe, skate the stick, glides in, left wing, shoots wide. May have been altered by Drysdale. Spence, a stutter step, shuffles the puck to Kempe, and on for Walker at the hashes. Fiala looking at dipsy-do through the legs of Comtois. Comtois got the steal. Aerial flip in front of Grimaldi, and the Kings look to reset in their own zone. Comtois came away with it. Surprising that Anaheim didn't do more with puck possession there. Kopitar with another neutral ice takeover for the Kings.
Just a little thing about the Kings system on that last attempted dump in by Anaheim. A lot of teams want their centerman to be the first man back. The Kings, the first forward back. Whoever's back first, you stay low, you get the job done. You don't wait for a switch off until it's absolutely obvious it's going to work.
Barry to Edler. Long attempt wide of the target. Velarde streaking in. Had a bid. There's Regenda. Earned a bronze medal with the Slovakian national team at the Olympics back in February. Uhura cradles the puck, fires through traffic, and we're going to have a penalty here.
Now, it's just an offside here, Alex. I think Uhura he was just stick handling one extra He tried to buy himself just enough room. And by doing so, he was backing off there. So that's the reason for the whistle and the face-off just taking place just outside the Kings blue line there. So
looking at the action ref the whole time, and he had his hands in the air. But that's a late offside call if that's the case.
I waved back at him. Oh, yeah, he was just waving up here.
Hey. Now the puck punched away from Anderson Dawn. We'll get to it. Lizotte to the front. Lemieux shut down in tight. Had a chance at the rebound from Gibson. And Lizotte hits the deck in the scramble as well.
And this is what Lemieux will do. Jad will do. Lizotte will do. They want to get that puck on the forecheck. And it seems simple. And sometimes by simplifying, but Lemieux just, he gets so tight there, but that's what you want. You want to crash the net. And at the end of a game, if your fourth line is doing that time after time, you're making the other team expend a lot of energy defensively.
Lopina tried to clear off the far boards, taken away by Clark and neutralized, and he plops it into the left wing corner. It's Drysdale around the boards. Kirkland having trouble leaving the zone. Kings take over. Edler shot off the post. Lizotte picks it up. Clark for Edler. Down the left wing. Back to Clark. And from the left point, his shot lobs off a stick to the right wing corner. Kings starting a change in the attacking zone. Anderson Doan hauled down. Puck back to neutral ice. Lizotte in a collision with Lopina lost out. And the Kings will execute a line change.
Well, the exchange between Clark and Edler. Clark with the quick hands. Edler backing off. You won't see a lot of offense from Alexander Edler, but you're going to see a lot of mentorship with a young defenseman.
Hard pass. Boy, you had trouble with it. Kaliev turnaround bid hits the high glass. And Karam's back to neutral ice. Doughty chops it back in. Andrew Doughty coming off wrist surgery after an injury last March, and these skates don't have toe picks, but that's basically what just happened to Ole Ulevi. Shot from Benoit grabbed by Quick.
Well, the Kings had a chance there on the last shift. I mentioned Edler getting involved. Just want to focus on the quick hands here of Brandt Clark. Keeps it going. Just that subtle little pass right there. And he puts it on a plate just so Edler can make his decision quickly. He just shovels it over there. But you see the puck always moving. Backhand, forehand, then the pass.
Turnover to Comtois. Whipped it towards the front. Grimaldi had a look at the top of the blue paint. Mikey Anderson in over the attacking line. Here's Kempe, right wing, shot, fought off by Gibson. Fiala to the loose puck behind. Fiala overskates it momentarily. Drags away from Benoit. Fiala slips it through traffic. Anderson, left side, rolls it to Kopitar back behind. He's challenged behind the net. Keeps the handle. Comtois tried to dislodge it, but Kopitar now hounding Mahura. Fiala with the steal. And the pass behind Doughty. Kopitar for Anderson. And the Kings reset. Mikey Anderson, another one of those players banged up last season. Missed 22 games with an upper body injury. Came back in time for the playoffs, though. DeLeo. And over the attacking line. Ridden down by Kupari. Puck comes straight in the middle. Kulikov shot. Aggressive save by Quick at the top of the crease. Kulikov works it back to the point. Drysdale for Kulikov, and he steers it down the wall. Chase DeLeo in pursuit as Spence ties up with Regenda. Still they battle. Regenda has his skate pinned along the kick plate, looking to jar the puck free. Puck still available. Referees hate to blow the play dead for a frozen puck along the boards, and finally they move it. Kupari, good speed to leave the zone, and he dumps it in. 2-1 Kings. Here at Crypto.com Arena. Sent in off the short glass by Kulikov. Sent out by Walker. And picked up by Levy, former Vancouver Canuck. Traded prior to last season. Then waived by the Florida Panthers in March. He wound up finishing the year with Detroit. Goal line is Lopina. And a pass to Gruel in the circle. Patted down by Quick. Lopina, 21-year-old rookie. Levy, long dump in, and Quick will keep playing moving. There's Walker. I think he's ticked every box so far tonight in his preseason debut, hasn't he? Come off. Rand Clark motors up ice. Lundestrom stops him up in neutral ice. I follow. Let him go with Tynan. Long attempt is gloved by Gibson. Let's step aside. Third period in downtown Los Angeles. Is teaming up with the American Red Cross to help raise funds to provide food, shelter, comfort, and support to our friends and neighbors down in Southwest Florida devastated by Hurricane Ian. To donate, you can scan the QR code on your screen or visit redcross.org. You can also text Ian, I-A-N, to 90999 to donate $10. Simple as that. 2-1 Kings. Preseason game number 4 for LA. Preseason game number 5 for Anaheim. TJ Tynan. Been among the better players for the Kings tonight. Of course, setting up that Arthur Kaliyev goal at the end of the first period. That's the last of the offense. All 3 goals tonight scored in the first. Josh Mahura on this puck. Neither team icing a full lineup. We won't see that until the game on Saturday, probably. Oh, Quick stumbled at the side of his net as the puck was reamed around.
He's checking his skate right now, or the ice, or both in his crease.
Been a while since they played a game here. Centering pass off a turnover. Lundestrom denied and tight by Quick.
Yeah, Jonathan was able to paddle down flat but be aggressive and get it out there. Play coming up here for Anaheim.
And Kopitar is going to go off.
Yeah, it looked like a little collision. Both guys coming together, Kulikov and Kopitar, and maybe a stick got up. We get the official call right here. Cross-check from Kopitar. So I mentioned Ange was clipped earlier in the game and just really wasn't bothered by it, but he had to go off for a split second. I mentioned that save of Jonathan Quick. Watch Jonathan here. He can't get it with a stick on the pass, so we see him extend it out towards the puck there. Lundestrom was trying to go tweeners on the play, and Jonathan says, no way, got the big stick, makes the save.
Third power play for Anaheim. Grimaldi, who seemingly has been everywhere tonight, scored in the opening shift. Grimaldi, a slap shot denied by Quick and cleared down by Anderson Dolan. Remember, Grimaldi burst onto the scene in the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs with the Nashville Predators. Had 3 goals in a 5-game first-round series against the Dallas Stars. Didn't have a point in 7 games in the NHL last season, though. Barry, nice job to kill some clock here. 1 against 3. Kings penalty kill that got off to a bad start. They recovered really nicely to finish the season. Wound up 22nd, but they began here for the first month and a half. They were dead last. And you just don't see a team go like that, you know, up 10 spots in the season-ending standings. Trent Yawney credits the players for adjusting and working on it day in, day out, and getting better as the year went along. Already the Kings have killed off a minute 20 on this Ducks power play. Drysdale, center point. This bounces back to him. They'll cradle. Drysdale, left wing. Leaves it off in the corner. Gaudin rotates it back around. Drysdale challenged by Lizotte. Puck to Silfverberg now. Drysdale, the Lundestrom glove save by Quick.
Yeah, Jonathan waiting there. Billy Radford was mentioning yesterday that if Jonathan Cook has made any adjustments to his game over the years, he's not as aggressive as he once was because of these types of plays that are more prevalent. The east-west play. Of course, the goal tonight by Anaheim was one of those in-behind, backdoor, east-west passes. But if you come out too fast and too quick on an east-west pass, then all of a sudden they just pass it by you. That time Jonathan held on initially. One big step, big save.
Cleared all the way down to kill the rest of the penalty. That was efficient.
Yeah, that certainly was. That's a set understanding of where to be, who shoots what hand at what time, and the forehand gets it down the ice.
Maldi tips it ahead, but he was behind the red line. It's an icing against the Ducks.
We were discussing the power play earlier, now the penalty kill, those types of things. Most coaches, they actually focus on the penalty kill more than the power play as far as what affects the game more. Because if it doesn't work on a power play, right, you don't lose ground. You really don't. You don't gain any, but you don't lose any. If it doesn't work on a penalty kill, it's a goal against, and you lose ground. And that's why we, mostly the media, and we focus on the offensive part, the power play. But most coaches, they feel the biggest effect is on the power play. Excuse me, on the penalty kill, because it's just one of those things where it goes, something goes on the board. It goes up on the board. It's tough to erase.
Easier to build in structure. Stopped by Gibson here with the right pad on Brant Clark, who continues to make his case. Fiala, as they'll come away with the puck along the boards. Clark fell down, hit his back against the wall. Seems to be fine. 9:41 on the clock. Shots 28-21 LA, 6-4 Anaheim this period. Rule stood up in neutral ice by Velarde. There's Walker. A long bank attempt for Kupari that didn't get there. Kupari got the stick into the skates. And that will be the fourth power play of the night for Anaheim. What do you know? Just as Jarrett Stoll suspected, we're dead even. Power plays now. Tripping. Kupari will go off for two.
Not a one-timer, but a snipe by Adrian Kempe. Loose puck battle. Win the loose puck. Kaliev, stay away, hang up, bang. And that's why the Kings have a 2-1 lead right now. As I mentioned a couple of moments ago, we always focus on the power play goals. Now it's the penalty kill. Very important here for the Kings with a 1-goal lead.
Talking with Trent Young, it doesn't sound like they've made any major adjustments to their PK coming into the season. As always, the personnel will be interesting to watch as the year goes on. Well,
yeah, and he was mentioning that the other day about preseason personnel, where maybe you find someone that you just didn't know, and because your regular guys are not in the lineup, someone else gets a chance, and then you find out maybe a solid penalty kill.
And even if it's a player who doesn't make the roster right away, that's good information to have in your back pocket for later on. Here's Mahura up ice, stood up. Ducks will gain entry eventually. Here's Adam Henrique, fairly quiet tonight. Grimaldi moves in, stops up, looks it back to Mahura, and a shot from the outside swallowed up by Quick. Justin Kirkland with the attempt moving in. Well, the Kings are heading to Salt Lake City this week for another edition of Frozen Fury. They'll take on the Vegas Golden Knights this Thursday. Daryl Evans, Derek Armstrong, Kings scout Blake Bolden will be there for some on-ice clinics for kids and adults on Wednesday at Vivint Arena. You can work on your hockey skills, drills, games, and you'll get a ticket to Frozen Fury as well. LAKings.com/Frozen Fury Clinic for more information if you're in the Salt Lake area. There's Kirkland. Left side, watched by Kopitar. Rotated to Grimaldi. And Grimaldi to the doorstep. Comtois looking to swivel it across. Nobody there. Kirkland on the pitch. And a shot goes wide. This one ricochets off a body. Walker bumps into Kirkland. Now Grimaldi. Left it along the boards. Kings unable to find a way out initially, but Kopitar does the honors. Clears it all the way down.
Any successful penalty kill will have aggression to it, taking away time and space. And you saw the stick tick by Adrian Kempe on that last play. He didn't get total possession, but he ticked the puck. And his teammates able to clear.
Ducks wrap it around the boards. Regenda in behind. Edler takes it away. Clark looking for a way out. Final 11 seconds of the Ducks power play. Drysdale hands it off. Shot by Regenda high and wide. He's been one of the more impressive skaters for Anaheim this preseason with 2 goals tied for the team lead. Might make the team.
You called his name quite a bit.
Yeah. A shot. Quick didn't see it. Knocked it down with his glove. And he covers for a face-off. He had a lot of traffic in front of him.
Always interesting for me, Alex, because you just mentioned he didn't see the initial shot. But then how quickly Jonathan, it hits him. And then watch how quickly his glove gets down to the ice to cover the loose puck. High shot, bang, and right there. Well, credit Edler for just buying enough time. Comtois there. Watch the puck. Well, get out of the way, ref. Get it there. But Jonathan knows exactly what to do with that big mitt. Fight it off. Find it. Get some help. Hold on.
Top line on for the Kings after they kill off the penalty. 4 for 4 on the PK tonight. Kempe flying into the forecheck. Fiala unable to take the puck away from Drysdale. Will work it back behind the Anaheim net and start the breakout for the Ducks. Here's Drysdale for DeLeo. Into the corner. It's Doughty. Fiala with Anaheim backing off. Has some room to operate. He'll swing it across for Kempe. Kempe stops up, jukes, passes to Kopitar. And it bounced away in the corner as Kopitar comes together with Benoit Olivier Groulx.
We saw Drysdale trying to get it going. Of course, under the circumstances, trailing by a goal. Third period, latter part of the third. More green lights for offensive defensemen.
Call it offside here. Looked like the puck stayed on the line. Nathan Beaulieu.
Goalie coming into a PTO. Ends up with a contract. Just another one of those veteran guys that Anaheim's trying to sprinkle in. Is he considered an impact guy? No, but 82 games.
Well, his issue, he's battled a lot of injuries in his career. Hasn't played more than 40 games in a single season since 2019. So part of the reason why he was unable to get a contract over the summer, but has earned one now.
It's tough to get that contract on a PTO nowadays. With teams have their contracts, the salary cap. It's tough to do,
especially the way that farm systems are built now. I mean, all these young, cheap, drafted players. Lazard on the backhand, great stop by Gibson. Ducks clear to neutral ice. Walker gloves it from there. They'll work it quickly back into Lemieux on the left wing. Levy unable to take control there. Spence across for Edler. That blast goes wide. Spence lunges after it, but Silfverberg does well to cancel him.
Just a reminder, regardless of how this game ends up, there will be a shootout after the game, just to give everyone a little bit of practice, mostly the goaltenders.
I've already marked up my paper. Hopefully it doesn't go 12 rounds like that crazy one in Vegas the other night. Jeez. Maybe it went 15. I don't know. It went too long. That's bottom line. Silfverberg moves in with Henrique, button hooking back and turn it over. Kaliev will walk it up ice and then gives it away to Henrique.
One of those little things that they talk about with Kaliev. He just went to the spot where he knew the Ducks wanted to attack, and he's there to break it up.
Kings will skate it out. Foggy-Mo will exchange with Kupari. Shot from the outside, seen the whole way by Gibson. Comtois in the corner, bumped along by Velarde, but the Ducks take possession back with under 4.5 to go. Chipped off the near boards. Away from Drysdale, but the Kings get the steal. Kupari looking to work that puck to the back. Not taken away by Gruel. Otherwise, it would have been a grade A chance.
It was the angle taken by Velarde that forced Drysdale into that turnover. Very smart with a big body and reach.
There's Comtois up ice on left wing. Into the corner. Gruel ties up with Doughty. Now Kopitar on. It'll be interesting to see the mix of players here down the stretch with the Kings holding a 2-1 lead. Centering pass off a stick. Julevi had to reach behind him to get it. Anderson up for Fiala near boards. Sorted out well. Kopitar works it across to Kempe. And Adrian dumps it in. Gibson handles. Oh, Julevi, that's a dangerous. Julevi, that's a dangerous pass up the middle.
I was hoping for a black jersey there.
Now the Ducks will reset with 3:15 to go. Gaudin gets it deep. Spence bumped from behind by DeLeo. No harm, no foul. Pass slowed up with some snow build-up in front of the benches. Lemieux couldn't handle cleanly. Walker unable to get it deep for LA. Gibson should be headed to the bench sooner rather than later. Big hit right in front of the Kings bench. Knocked Benoit off his feet. Turned over by Regenda in his own zone. Yes, Anaheim isn't really interested in trying a 6-on-5 here for an extended period of time. Doesn't count the standings. Anyway, Silfverberg down the right boards. McTavish battles for position. Bumped along in the corner. Edler tried to flip it up the wall. And it's off the stick of Lundestrom, but taken by Tynan. Starting Kaliev centering. Iafallo stopped by Gibson. Great combination again between Tynan, Kaliev, and Iafallo. 2:11 remaining. What a chance.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned.
Yeah, his footprint's all over this game right now with the penalty kill. I noticed him out there blocking shots, winning some faceoffs. The team's 4 for 4 on the kill tonight, so doing a good job of there. 24 goals last year with the Ontario Reign, so he can put the puck in the net, has some offensive ability for sure, but he's a guy that takes care of both ends of the ice. He takes a lot of pride in that. Very, very good work ethic, so it's nice to see Jared having a really good game here tonight, and hopefully he can move forward on that.
Double R, talking about single R.
Oh, that's a good one.
On the Jarrett part.
Oh, okay. It's early. It's preseason yet. Got away from me. Anderson Dolan wound up in 7 games for the Kings last year. Didn't record a point.
Something tells you that Jad's going to be, he's going to be a long-time pro.
Sure.
Regardless of whether it's NHL, American Hockey League, tweener, back and forth, up and, he's just committed. He loves the game so much, so that's going to keep him in the game for a long time.
He's another case, though, that he'd have to be put on waivers if he doesn't make the team, and so he's in a tough spot right now. Here's Gibson coming to the bench, and so Anaheim's net is empty with 1:40 to go. I mean, it's a question for him and for the organization long term. This is an important stretch of the preseason for him. All right, so Henrique here with 1:23 to go. The Kings leading 2-1. Looking to win their second preseason game. Romaldi turned it over. Kopitar, long attempt. No. Icing.
So the Kings looking to seal this one. Talked to Gabe Velarde, and I'm talking about him quite a bit. The last shift, puck comes along the boards, goaltender's pulled, pressure situation. Watch this. Puck protection first, and then he gets it out. It's a simple, it may seem simple, but, and there was talks about him when he moved from center to wing that, I think he's been pretty good along the wall. He doesn't hurt you there.
Right. has really good stick handling ability. You just didn't see as much of it when he was playing down the middle. Final minute. Again, there will be a shootout regardless of whether this game ends in regulation or overtime for that matter. Kopitar picks it up. Doughty, minding his P's and Q's, lifts the puck to neutral ice. 37 seconds left. Mahura brings it up ice for Silfverberg. Down the wing with McTavish. Spence flubbed the rim around. Ducks get it back. 24 seconds. McTavish stick handles, feeds Mahura to the outside. Ulevy back to Mahura up top. McTavish had to go through him. Back behind, a pass from Gaudin. Silfverberg from the wall, knocked down in front. 9 seconds and 8. Pass knocked down by Mahura. A final attempt blocked up in traffic. Skated ahead by Fiala, and that does it. Pretty composed finish to this game, and the Kings win it 2-1.
Ducks had their opportunities, but never could get a clean shot through. And that's where credit goes to the Kings defenders, forwards, defensemen. Getting in the way, getting in the lane, getting a stick, a body, getting a block. Help out the goaltender when you can. There was a couple of opportunities. There's the one that made its way through. You can see Jonathan didn't see exactly where the rebound went. But as long as there's not a second chance. Second chance advantage goes to the team with more men on the ice. And when you have the goaltender pulled, you've got that advantage. Kings prevented the second attempt. End up winning 2-1 in regulation. Preseason. Get some practice. Have some shootouts.
I couldn't remember the length of the one in Vegas, so let's just hope it doesn't go that long. All right, first up, Fiala. See his skill. Stopped by Gibson.
We tried a little bit of that changeup. We've seen more and more of that in shootout situations where you try to make the momentum of the goaltender work against the goaltender. Lean one way and just kind of throw it back the other way. Not a lot of velocity on it, but glove save from Gibson.
There's Glenn Gaudin on Quick, and the save is made.
That's one of those where Jonathan Quick. Gaudin didn't give any fake. Not much deception here. Watch, he comes across. He had it with an open blade all the way, and Jonathan just fell across with a blocker to smother it.
TJ Tynan, I'd give him one of the 3 stars of the game. Although not for that attempt. He tried to do the same thing Fiala did, didn't he? We'll change it.
A little bit of top glove. And we'll get it right in behind the shooter. Great look right here down at ice level. You can see that there was never any fake to make the goaltender flinch. Gibson makes a save.
Oh, Kings fans already with a little bit of ire towards Mason McTavish. And McTavish scores.
Another trend in shootouts is to really slow it down and then speed it up. So the feet are slow, but the hands are quick. Over the pad, under the blocker, on the reach. Kings need it.
Anderson Dolan to keep the Kings alive in the shootout. Scores.
Similar as far as speed on the attack. McTavish slow, Jad slow, but Jad will keep going back and forth. You see back and forth, and then the goaltender wasn't set. Goes tweeners.
There's Rocco Grimaldi to win it for Anaheim, and Quick stones him.
Maybe lost control of this one as he tries to go from backhand to forehand. Keep an eye on the puck. Yeah, just rolled up on him there. He had some pretty quick hands, but he rolled up. Could not elevate.
See how this young man does.
He's a sniper.
22-year-old from Sweden. Scores! Confident shot.
I haven't seen much highlight in my life, but this one is very similar. To watch him scoop it and then just fire it. He just fires. He flings it more than shoots it or snaps it. Did you see that little open of the blade there? That's a little deception. Maybe froze the goaltender.
Or maybe they're just booing each duck. Maybe it's not personal. Here's Regenda. And Quick comes up with a save, and the Kings win the exhibition shootout after winning the game in regulation 2-1.
3 points on the night for the Kings? Oh, it doesn't work.
Not quite yet.
Okay.
We'll gladly take it in about a week's time. So, the Kings, hey, it's a preseason game. You know, there's some lulls to the game, but I think the takeaway here, we got to see another glimpse of Clark. Maybe this lineup with the power play, PP1, PP2 units starting to come into focus a bit.
Yeah, and I think that the mobility of the Kings back on the blue line. Again, Jordan Spence, I like to mention. You know, Alex Edler is probably the only stay-at-home. Anderson, Edler, but